Well, sorry I've been away for some time. My computer was on the blink and I had to do some other jobs which interfered with me making of videos. So I'm going to make something out of this old horseradish jar and some even older mahogany that I'd lying about with a dirty great big hole in it. As you can see, I'm finishing off the cylinder with a screw chisel, although this mahogany is extremely dry, and the chisel did lift a few of the grain and got a bit of torn grain here, so I'll have to sort that out. Here I'm a bit unsure about the wall thickness. It might be a little bit too thin. Well, I've come this far. I'll carry on. I think it'll be all right. One major drawback with using old timber that you've forgotten what it was used for. I found some flipping holes in the bottom. Anyway, it's a prototype, so I should get away with it because it's covered up by the jar, but it's a bit of a sickener. I should have checked. creates a far faster method of changing jaws. I'll leave a link to the record power video on the description of this video. I'm just creating a small spigot just to centralise the lid and gives it a nice snug fit into the base of the container that I've turned previously. Must not have put it in the chuck properly. There's a slight eccentricity of the lid to the base. I'm going to have to sort that out later. I'm just measuring the height of the glass jar to the underside of the lid, of the wood lid that I've made, and reproduce that dimension. Plus I'll add a little bit of extra on for thickness of the base, so that I don't go through the whole lot and make a cylinder instead of a container. As with most prototypes, I'm making things up as I go along. I could have fit the lid after I'd sized up the base to the proper dimensions instead of earlier, but these things happen. In order to true up the lid with the base, there's a slight eccentricity as I mentioned before. I'm gripping the outside of the base using a jam chuck, simply because unfortunately the diameter doesn't fit with any of the jaws that I've got on any of the chucks, so I'm having to make this jam chuck. As I said earlier, this very dry mahogany is prone to tear out by using the screw chisel in the normal way, so I'm using it as a scraper and finish off with abrasives later on. This should get rid of the torn grain. Normal finishing procedure here, up to 180 grit using abrasives, and then following on with Yorkshire grit standard and the fine white paste, and then it's 1 coat of sanding sealer and 2 coats of melamine lacquer. Off camera I filled up the holes in the base. After you've been wood turning as long as I have, I've acquired quite a few chucks, which is on site quicker changing chucks than it is changing jaws. Although that's before the record power quick change chucking system came out, which I mentioned earlier in this video. The other alternative is to pay for a really expensive chuck from America that changes with a press of a button. But they're horrendously expensive. I'm running the lathe at about 720-30 RPM. I use that speed throughout the different sizes of Forstner bits. It doesn't seem to affect it, and it stops it from overheating. I often prefer using a keyless chuck. It's a lot quicker and you don't lose chuck keys, and they're quite reasonably priced. Obviously it depends on the size of your lathe. Go for the biggest you can afford. I need the cover to slide smoothly up and down the base, the container if you like. So I'm using calipers here to make sure that the hole that I'm boring out is parallel and there's no taper which could easily jam it up. Well, the bore's fine, but the outside diameter of the insert or the base is slightly tapered, so I'll have to correct that. I want a nice smooth sliding fit with very little play. I don't want any as large amount of slop on this. It just needs to move along the cover needs to move along the base quite smoothly. I wanted to hold the sliding cover in the bore using a chuck, but again it's fallen foul of any chuck diameters I've got, so I'm having to make a spacer that goes inside the sliding sleeve or the sliding cover to stop it interfering with the chuck key as I put it into the chuck, and it has to run through as well, so I've got to make sure that the ends of the insert are square so that it'll run through when I clamp it in the jaws of the chuck. The grain direction of the sliding cover is at 90 degrees to the grain direction of the base in which it's covering. So I'm having to use normal finishing techniques as you would do a bowl. This is where I made one of my many mistakes. I nearly finished the sliding cover. I put a curve on the top, and it came back to bite me later on when I wanted to drill the holes. It'll become apparent later on in the video. I made a mess of drilling the holes previously by holding in my hand and using a cordless drill. Again, impatient got the better of me, so I've gone on to the pillar drill so I can hold the metal lid and the wood lid together as I drill, and that makes sure that the holes are lined up. Off camera, I turned a recess in the sliding cover to accept the spalted beech insert. As luck would have it, I've been introduced to a little woodworm trail, which is quite apparent when you look closely. It all adds to the interest of the item, I suppose, and that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Because this is a prototype, I don't want to glue the metal jar lid to the wooden lid in case it doesn't work out later on. I can always remove it. If I glue it, I've probably wasted some more wood. I'll have to start again. So for the time being, I'm screwing it to the lids together. I want to fix the sliding cover at different heights, and it's my idea to make an oval hole in the cover and an oval peg for me to twist so that it locks in position, and the tip of it presses against the base of which the cover slides over, so that it rubs against it and hopefully fixes in any height I want. For anyone who's seen my previous videos, I like to make bits of jigs, etc., and I've made one that goes in the tool post so I can drill a hole exactly on the centre line of the lathe. I've drilled a 4mm hole in both sides of the hole at 180 degrees to one another. I'm extending the width of the hole in one direction only. Well, I hope you've guessed it. It's a reed diffuser, and my idea is to adjust the strength of the scent by lowering or hiring the sleeve, the cover, in so to make some of your own. I've enjoyed making it, and I'm going to make another one from more expensive woods.